Hi, this is Jolen Philbrook, and today I am with Sandy Anchondo, and we're going to be talking about how to embrace your mindset to improve your living space. So, welcome, Sandy.
Thank you very much, Jolen. I'm glad to be here.
I'm really looking forward to this conversation on improving our living space. This is going to be fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for inviting me. And let me just tell everyone a little bit about you, okay?
Sounds great.
All
Thanks.
right. Well, Jolen Philbrook is known as an abundant mindset expert who intuitively clears prosperity blocks. Her specialty is shifting the inner game and releasing stuck negative emotions to attract more success. Who doesn't want that?
Yeah.
Success, prosperity, and happiness. In 2008, Jolen survived a rare type of breast cancer and went through a custody suit with no income. And in 1 year, she has survived kidney cancer as well. Now she shares her wisdom so that you can find your inner strength, your prosperity, and happiness to live your greatest life.
Well, thank you for that introduction, Sandy. That was wonderful. So let me tell the listeners a little bit about you. So Sandy Anchondo's creative abilities were nurtured while she was growing up in her child home in Southern California. She was moving furniture and organizing things and hanging pictures and creating this different look while doing all these fun craft projects and using objects around her house. And today, she owns Restyle Interiors, which is a full-service firm offering a unique blend of contemporary and modern style for the warm and casual, elegant home. Her design work has been published in Orange County Magazine, and she continues to win awards in the very popular remodeling and design website, house.com. So that's great, Sandy. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
So I'm kind of curious. You're this great interior designer and you've won some awards. And I know we all have clutter in our life. So do you have like 3 steps maybe that a listener could take to clear out the clutter in their space?
Yes, I do. And let me tell you, we're all guilty of it, right?
Yeah, this is true.
And so this is not I don't want anybody to feel like they're on the spot, but I'm going to give you 3 quick steps that's really going to help you in your own space. And you can do it anytime you feel the urge, which now is better than later, right? So the first thing we do when we're looking at our space, usually it's your living space, like your living room, your family room. That's where you spend a lot of time there, and that's where you tend to feel like, wow, I've got a lot of clutter.
Yeah.
So the first thing I would tell everyone is to look around their space, and without moving any furniture, without touching the heavy fixtures, but just look around your space and try to pick up and temporarily remove everything that's not attached to something. So not your furniture, not the big heavy stuff, but everything that's just sitting there in that room. And I know it may sound like a lot, but believe it or, I've done this many, many times. And if you just remove temporarily everything and you clear out the space for one moment, that kind of opens up your mind and you can see your space in a whole new light. So that's step 1, just basically temporarily removing all of the smaller objects in the room. And that's everything that you can pick up that's not going to be super heavy and that you have to have help to move. And then once you've done that, now you can actually look at those objects. And when you're looking at all those objects, you can say to yourself, do I really want that back in the room? What is that doing for me? Does that really make this room feel better? Is it an accessory that looks great? Or was it just something I set down over there for whatever reason and didn't know what to do with it? So that's a biggie. So you have all this stuff that you moved out of your space temporarily. Now you're over there looking at it. You can pretend like you're in a store. So now you're in a store and you're only going to pick the items that you absolutely love.
Mm,
That's what we do, right? When we shop, we
right.
usually pick the things that we're attracted to that we really like. So
Right.
you're going to take those items that you really do like and you're going to put them back into your space. And when you do that, they don't necessarily have to go back into the same place. You may find a spot that you like even better. So that's key, because I guarantee you when you start putting things back, you're going to end up with that extra pile of stuff that we call clutter that isn't going back into your space. So once you've actually re-accessorized, that's what we call that, we re-accessorize the space, now you have that extra pile. And what you're going to do is, like all people, when they have extra things in their house that they don't know what to do with, they're going to say to themselves, yes, I need to keep this.
Or
Maybe it's a keepsake. Maybe it's something that just, you have a lot of connection to, emotional connection to. Yes, I need to keep it. Well, then you're going to put that in one pile. The second pile is, I don't need this anymore. Why was I keeping this? Donate those items. So you're going to have a keeper pile, which is going to be small.
yeah.
Then you're going to have a donate pile. And then I guarantee you there's going to be some things that you took out of that room and you're going to be laughing at, saying, why do I have this? I just need to toss it. So
Right.
those are the items we toss. So now in just those 3 easy steps, you have now created a much more open and a more pleasant environment to be in.
Oh, that's great. And also, you notice the blower has showed up.
Oh,
Can you hear
yes.
the blower? So sometimes when there's an outside noise like this, I always like to bring it into the awareness. And also sometimes it's because, oh my goodness, there's a message, pay attention, when there's a loud noise, like you hear a car honk or bells go off or something like that. So today we have a blower on these 3 steps on how to declutter.
All
So I
right.
think that's quite interesting.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So where do we go from here? I would say I'd like to know how you bring in your mindset in order to kind of address what is clutter and why we need to uh, remove that from our living areas.
Okay. So a lot of times we get bombarded with heaviness, too many items, and because we think we have this scarcity mindset, we need to shop, we need to fill our space. And what it is all about is we're looking at the bottom line is not enough. So if we think if we need another knickknack, then we'll have enough. And we start piling all this stuff on, and our environment gets cluttered. Well, also your mind gets cluttered because you're having these thoughts that repeat day after day after day. And basically they're like, oh my gosh, how am I going to get ahead? Or you can't sleep at night, you're anxiety and stressed about, oh my gosh, am I going to have any money at the end of the month to pay all my bills? And I might only have $20 left in my checking account. And how am I going to get gas to get to work? And your mind just goes like this, and it's all on scarcity, lack, not enough. So if we take your example and clean the things out of our environment, as we're letting it go, we could say in our mind, I'm willing to release this belief because it no longer serves me. And then you look at what you have and you go, I have enough. Believe me, when I went through my divorce, I'm a dish fanatic. I had 16 sets of china.
Oh,
I have more than enough china for myself and every relative in my family. And I gave all this china away except 2 sets that I really like. And it was like a lightening of the load, because
yes.
you don't need to keep all this stuff. What it does is it bogs you down, makes you feel heavy. It keeps your mind cluttered. you're not organized, procrastination comes in, overwhelmment, because you're looking at it going, oh my God, this is so huge. How am I ever going to conquer this? And you go into procrastination and overwhelm because it's more than you can handle. So the secret is, if you're in procrastination or overwhelm, set the timer for 5 minutes, pick an area, work on that area for 5 minutes, timer rings, step back and go, wow, didn't I do a good job?
I love that idea. It makes so much sense, because absolutely people tend to say, I can't take all this stuff out of here. There's so much. Well, you know what? Once you start taking a few things out, all of a sudden, don't you tend to feel empowered? And it's like, wow, I'm making a big statement, a big difference here. So yeah.
Yeah. And then if we've cleaned the room, how do we eliminate the urge to go back and make it discluttered again? So here's an example. I cleaned my house, and then during the week, I got so busy. I didn't have time to do the dishes. The books I was reading piled up, and all of a sudden I look around the house. It looks like a bomb blew off. And I'm like, gosh, I just cleaned it. So how do we keep from going back into this bad habit we have?
Okay, Jolen, you just hit the nail on the head. It really is a bad habit that we have. We feel like we're rushing around during the day, so we say to ourselves, I'll get to that later,
Yeah.
But when we do that, what happens is things tend to pile up. So here's my mantra for that, and it will work. You just have to get into it little by little. But have you ever heard that phrase, everything has a place, or
Yeah. Everything has a home and a home. No, everything has a place, and every place has a home.
Home.
Yeah.
So we know in the back of our mind that those books actually go in that bookcase over there. Or we know that when I gather up my mail, I have a spot that I like to have my mail in. So what you say to yourself when you start to, so now your place is clean and you're really happy with it, and life is great, and then all of a sudden you start looking around and things are out of place. It's because you have a place, and if you haven't identified a place for your things, definitely do that. Make a basket for the mail, have a spot that that you've identified for most of the daily items that end up cluttering your space. And especially with dishes, I like to hide mine in the dishwasher. Even if I'm not going to turn the dishwasher on, I just put them in there anyway.
But here's the thing. You have to get up a little bit earlier and not hit the nose button again. I don't know why. I just wake up slow, get going. I have breakfast, and I'm late. So sometimes I have to get to my appointment and throw my makeup on. It's bad. I have time management issues.
Yes. Well, there you go. So that's something, again, we all have a challenge somewhere in our daily lives. But the way that I recommend my clients not fall back into disorganization is to remind themselves, okay, I know where that goes. I know where that thing is supposed to be. So instead of me putting it on the counter right now or laying it on my bed, especially like clothing, who wants to hang that thing back up? Well, guess what? If you hang it up now, you'll never have to look at it again.
Right.
It's just like what they say about the most important thing you can do every day is make your bed. Believe it or not, they say if you make your bed, you will start your day on a positive note. So yes, in answer to your question, how to eliminate disorganization and clutter kind of creeping back into your life, remind yourself when you do those things, oh, I actually have a place for that. I'm going to start putting it in that place instead of throwing it on the counter, putting it on the chair, letting it pile up on the table.
So it's interesting because the weather's kind of changing here. It was summer, now it's cooling off, and sometimes I need a light jacket and I take it and I don't use it. And I come home and I throw it on the bed and I go, does that belong there? No. Well, hang it up. And I have this conversation in my head that I didn't know I had till you said this.
Yes, and that's a good conversation to have, because you know what? You just reminded yourself of exactly the principles I'm talking about. You were able to catch yourself before you ended up throwing that thing on your bed instead of just putting it back in the closet. So good for you.
Oh, thanks.
So Jolen, speaking of putting things back into their spaces, can you tell us all a little about how energy is held in items?
Okay, have you heard the saying, everything is energy? A lot of people have heard about that. And just to kind of go off that basis, everything's energy. Well, we are energy. And your mood, let's say your mood, you're happy, you're sad. We all have an energy that we resonate. And if we really love something, when we touch it, the love gets transferred into that item. So I collect old antique orange juice squeezers. And I'm in antique stores and they have new reproductions and then they have the original antiques. So I can pick that item up and I can feel it and just hold it in my hands, and I notice if it starts feeling colder or warmer, if I get an image of a little old lady using it in her kitchen. You know, sometimes I get images and stuff like that, and I know that this was an authentic item. The lady loved it. She used it every morning making orange juice for her family. And I go, oh, this has good memories, right? Well, the opposite could be true. Have you ever gone into a networking event and you sit in a chair and you go, oh, this doesn't feel right. I don't like this. And you get up and you move and you sit in a different chair, and all of a sudden you feel better?
Absolutely.
Well, whoever sat in that chair before, their energy might have been resonating at this level and you're at this level and you're not matching. And so you're going to sit in a chair that resonates with your energy. So we all leave energy. So if we have a favorite part of the living room we always sit in, well, our energy gets left there and it starts building, you could say. And let's say you have this emotional event and you start crying and you sit there and you cry and you go, gosh, every time I sit in this chair, I'm sad. Well, it's because you're leaving sad energy in this chair. So it's really important to clear the energy. That's a whole nother conversation. But yeah, so items have energy in it. So when you're getting rid of an energy item, you're also getting rid of the energy that's attached to it, which frees up your energy, frees up your mindset, frees up your emotions. So
that's interesting.
Yeah, decluttering is a very important.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Wow.
Yeah, so now that we've decluttered and we've kind of cleaned our area, what do you think the easiest way is to bring back some style and finesse and decor into our space?
Well, I'll tell you what, I have been doing interior design work for 14 years, and I developed what I think is a very, very simple and easy guide that can help anybody. It's actually called a DIY room makeover kit, and you can find that on my website. My website is www.restyleinteriors.net. I think we're probably going to put our information in the link on this, aren't we?
Yeah.
So I do have this kit. It's available. It's right there. You can see it on my homepage. And I also give away a nice little free "Where do I put the sofa?" guide, because I hear that question all the time. Where can I put the sofa? I don't like where it is. So I created a really quick little download. It's free. So even if you don't want to try the DIY kit, please get the Where Do I Put the Sofa guide. I think you'll enjoy taking a look at that. So that would be, I would say, my best suggestion for getting started. And the thing is, everybody should feel empowered to make their space as open and loving as possible, because we spend half our lives in our spaces, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we want to come home and be happy and want to invite our friends over and not have to feel like we have to give them excuses. We just want to have an high energy, is that what you call it?
Yeah.
High energy, decluttered, beautiful space.
That's nice. Yeah. It's important.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you can tell us where we can learn more about your mindset strategies?
Yes. My website is Jolen, Jolen, Philbrook, PHILBROOK.com. And on my website, I have this free meditation that you can listen to at night as you drift off to sleep. And what it does is it subconsciously goes into your mind to help you reprogram and reset your mindset. And it's for money, wealth, and abundance. And you can get that free on my website.
Money, wealth, and abundance. Who doesn't want
Yeah,
that?
I know. And it's like this wonderful meditation that you can drift off to sleep. So who doesn't want to go to sleep and make money, right?
That's great. Great.
I know. It's fun. Well, this has been really a lot of fun, and I've learned so much about you, Sandy. This has just been really enjoyable. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I enjoyed it as well.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.